Good day, gamers. Today we're going to go over how to do each encounter of King's Fall in Destiny 2. For those of you who ran this in D1, there will be a lot of familiar mechanics, but every encounter has some good changes to keep things fresh. If this guide helps you at all, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on notifications, as it really helps the channel. To open the portal into the raid, we'll need to dunk 6 relics into the repositories in the center lane. To do this, we'll split into 2 teams of 3 and go left and right. One person on each side will pick up the relic at roughly the same time as the group on the other side, and the 2 other people will clear the ads and get all the doors between you and the center lane open. A word of warning: when you have the relic, you can only bunny hop for jump. You cannot double jump, so be careful. As you dunk each relic, the relics will spawn further and further from the door each time, so make sure you're keeping an eye out for them. Once they're all dunked, you'll clear some ads in front of the portal, and jump through and claim the chest. Once you've got your loot, you're going to run forward, cross the bells, and reach the tomb ship jumping puzzle. For this, I recommend following along with the path I take here. There is only one correct way through this jump puzzle, so watch where I jump carefully. There is a safe platform about halfway through as a res spot and a safe spot to double check where to jump as you go through the jump puzzle. Once you get through, clear all the ads and go around the back to clear the ads there. 2 people will need to stand on the plates, and at least 2 other people will need to use the tomb ship to make it through to the other side. However, there is also a secret chest here. To get this, once the ship is within jumping distance of the wall, we'll jump over to the ledge on the left hand side and climb the wall to the door. Grab the chest, clear the ads, and stand on the plate so everyone else can get through. Once everyone is through, head inside to the elevator and to the first encounter. Welcome to the Totems Encounter. In this encounter, we'll need to split into 2 groups of 3 and rotate positions one at a time. You will also want to make sure that you have some way to stop an unstoppable ogre, as they occasionally spawn in the middle room. Player 1 on each side will start by picking up the buff on the platform as they run into the rooms on either side. They'll run all the way to the back of the room and stand on the platform under the Annihilator totem. You don't have to be on these platforms the whole time. However, if either one is left unattended for too long, they will wipe the encounter. So just hang out here for a little while killing ads until player 2 relieves you. Then run to the middle room to stand on the plate in the middle to remove the Death Singer's power to charge the door. Player 2 will jump up to the upper platform where a wizard will be spawning. Kill the wizard to spawn a taken knight, which when killed will drop a buff called Brand Claimer. Pick up that buff and take it to the person on the Annihilator totem and use it to take the brand of the Weaver from them. Player 3 will start off the encounter by killing the acolytes in front of the door while player 2 is grabbing the buff, and will then kill the second wizard and knight before running to the totem. Be careful as you kill these ads, however, as killing the orange bar adepts will give any red bar acolytes near them a pulsing ogre eye attack. As long as all 3 players continue cycling the buff and depositing Death Singer's power, the door will eventually charge up and open to let you into the next encounter. To start the Warpriest encounter, a player must stand on each of the 3 plates at the same time. Ads will spawn left, middle, and right until an orange bar knight spawns at the same time on all 3 positions. Killing this knight will start the glyphs phase. During the glyphs phase, all 3 plates need to be stood on in the correct order. However, you can only see the light if you're on a plate, and you can't see the light that is behind the middle totem. So we need to figure out how to tell which plate to stand on. First, the middle plate will light up, allowing someone to stand on it. They'll look at both totems on the left and the right to see if the back of them lights up. If you see one lit up, call it out, then step off your plate. The side that is called out will then step on their plate and look for the opposite side's totem to see if that's lit up. If it is, then it's the opposite side's plate. If it's not lit, then the middle plate is second. If when the middle plate person stands on their plate the first time they do not see a lit back, that means middle is first. If this is the case, get off and back on to check for the second plate to stand on. The last person to stand on the plate will get the brand of the initiate. This will provide a red aura that will allow everyone near them to damage Warpriest. As soon as damage starts, a taken knight will spawn that will drop a brand claimer buff. One player will need to immediately kill that knight and grab the buff. Killing the first knight will spawn a second knight, which another player will need to kill and grab the second brand claimer buff. The first person with the brand of the initiate will count down the buff timer, and the first person to pick up the brand claimer buff will take it from them at about 2 seconds remaining. Continue counting down the brand of the initiate so that the second person with the brand claimer buff can also pull it at about 2 seconds. When the last stack of brand of the initiate timer runs out, group up in the shadow of one of the totems to survive the boss's attack. The boss's attacks will remove any totems that were hidden behind, so try to only use one at a time. During Glyph's phase, the light will still be where the totem used to be, however it will now be orange if no one is standing on that plate. Once you either do enough damage or use 2 of the totems, the ads during ads phase will change to taken ads instead of hive. Rinse and repeat until the boss dies and claim the loot from the chest. Hop through the portal and re-enter Golgoroth's cellar. To make your way through this maze and get your chest, follow the path I take here and make sure that the plates turn green when you step on them. Once you get the chest, run to the end and get ready to fight Golgoroth. Welcome to the Golgoroth encounter. This encounter will start by shooting the bubble in the middle to summon Golgoroth and start spawning adds. After you kill the adds, the first damage bubble will spawn and Golgoroth's back will open up. Here, we'll split into two groups, gaze holders and DPS. Gaze holders will want to run a fast firing weapon like an LMG and a sniper. Split up to cover the left and right side of the pit, with the first gaze holder starting in the front left and the second gaze holder in the back right. The right gaze holder will get close to Golgoroth to get him to turn around, and the left gaze holder will shoot the zit on the boss's back to gain Golgoroth's gaze. Count down the timer for the gaze, and at about 2 seconds, the right gaze holder will shoot the zit to take it from the left gaze holder. The two biggest things to do while holding the gaze is to keep Golgoroth looking at the DPS team down in the pit and shoot the Axion darts before they hit you. Keep passing the gaze back and forth until the damage phase is over. While the first gaze holder is getting the gaze, the DPS group will want to shoot down the bubble of reclaimed light and stand in the pool down in the pit. When the gaze holder gets his gaze, Golgoroth's belly will open up to allow you to shoot into him. When the gaze holder gets to about 3 seconds, begin shooting down the next pool of reclaimed light and get ready to move into it. While you're shooting him, one player will get an unstable essence buff. If you get this buff and do not get out of the group doing damage before the unstable essence explodes, you will kill any teammates nearby. So, go give Golgoroth a big hug, deal a large chunk of damage to the boss instead. Rinse and repeat your rolls until Golgoroth eventually falls over. After defeating Golgoroth and claiming your loot, you'll come to the transept jump puzzle plus a secret chest. During this jump puzzle, sections of the wall will shoot out at you to knock you into the opposite wall. Make sure you don't get hit, and definitely don't bait your friends into getting hit. There are two ways through this jump puzzle. You can either use the plates to spawn in platforms to make it to the far side of the puzzle, then climb to the exit from there by just following the platforms. The other option is to jump to the small platform on the pillar near the first plate, but then pull out your ghost to find the invisible platforms to climb up to the secret chest room. Once you get the chest, jump back to the invisible platform, then just jump straight across to the end of the jump puzzle. Once everyone makes it to the door, it'll open up a small circular jump puzzle to the next encounter. Welcome to the Daughters of Oryx encounter. This encounter is fairly simple, but the big thing to note is that when you kill one of the daughters, the other one must die during the next phase or it will wipe. During this encounter, players will be torn between dimensions at random and must climb to the top of some invisible platforms. The first 2 torn players each round will just chase a totem ball off the platform, and the third torn player will pick up a brand claimer buff off the final platform. To get the platforms to appear, players must stay standing on the correct plates the entire time someone is jumping up them. The plate the torn player starts from will turn green and have a knight spawn on it. Then, when someone steps on that plate, they will see which plate the buff is over. Once someone steps on the plate with the buff over it, then the platforms will appear. Once the brand claimer buff has been picked up, slam it on the daughter that is shooting at you. For damage, stand underneath the daughter opposite the one that you just slammed and shoot the one that was slammed. If you're confident that you can kill each sister in one damage phase, then knock the kill out immediately. If not, then you can get up to 2 damage phases per sister. Stay grouped up on the player who slammed the daughter until the timer runs out and the screen turns white, otherwise you will die. Rinse and repeat until both sisters are dead, and get ready to fight Daddy Oryx. It's been a long journey, but you're finally ready to fight the Taken King himself. The mechanic for this fight is fairly similar to last encounter in that randomly chosen torn players are climbing platforms 3 times to get the brand claimer buff. However, instead of knights spawning on any of the plates, Oryx will slam the first plate to start on. Then, the second and third starting plates will simply light up green. During the plates phase, a light eater ogre will spawn on the inside of each plate, and you'll want to focus those to spawn kill them as quickly as possible. When they die, they will drop a blight bomb where they died and spawn a light eater knight on the outside of the opposite plate. Avoid stepping into the blight bomb until later and kill the knight as fast as you can. If the knight makes it to the bomb, it will eat it and you'll have less time to do damage to Oryx. Once the brand claimer buff is grabbed, the torn player will slam it on the vessel of Oryx to steal its aura of immortality and kill the knight while staying in the center. Everyone else should stand next to their bomb until Oryx goes to slam the plate again. You'll see a text line in the emote list saying Oryx calls upon the darkness. Then step into the bomb. Once you see your name appear in the emote list, run to the player with the aura of immortality in the middle and prepare to damage Oryx. Once the damage phase is over, Oryx will do one of two attacks, either Blight or Aerial Bombardment. If he does Blight, hang out near the Blight and kill Thrall until you get teleported inside. Once inside, look for the Shade of Oryx and kill him. Once it dies, the Blight attack is over. During Aerial Bombardment, you'll have two options. You can wait it out and just keep running away from his bombs until he runs out, then kill your knights to start the next phase. Or you can kill the knights immediately to end the bombardment phase as soon as it begins. If you choose the second option, you can cut it down to as few as 1 bombs. Rinse and repeat the mechanics until you reach final stand. For final stand, 2 more Light Eater Ogres will appear on the right and left. Kill them and have 2 players who are not the player with the aura of immortality ready to detonate the Blight Bombs. Set them off one at a time as soon as Oryx calls upon the darkness and keep shooting Oryx until he dies. Make sure all players are inside the aura of immortality when each bomb goes off. Staggering the bomb detonations this way gives you the most time to shoot him to ensure that he dies. Congrats, you've cleared King's Fall. I hope this guide has been helpful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on notifications. If you're having trouble, I do raid helps every week over at twitch.tv/AndosDan. Thank you to everyone who helped put this together, and I'll see you gamers next time.